Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a quick review and demos of a new collection from Kaleidos Makeup. This is the Fresh Fantasy collection. So I received this in PR. It is my first time trying Kaleidos Makeup and my first PR package from them. However, that all changed just today, like 15 minutes ago. I received another package from them, and in here is the escape pod. And can I just show you how they've packaged this up? Stop it. Just stop that. It's so freaking cute. Look at this. It's adorable. I also have the sponges and I believe that's a Lucid lip in there. Yes, it is. So I'll do a little video on this, probably just a like chilled out, sit down, just doing my makeup video where I play with these. But I think I will also compare some of the purples in this palette, the Escape Pod Collection palette, to the ones in the Fresh Fantasy collection as well. Let's start with the palettes. First, I just want to touch on the packaging. So, oh man, this shit is so cute. So they open up like so, and inside you will find your palette and a positive affirmation, let's just call it. Makeup on the bright side, because it is. The packaging is stunning. I love them. Like, well done. This is the sort of packaging where I'm like, but I want to keep it because it's just as cute as the palette. So if you are a keeper of packaging in cases like this, I don't blame you. Then the palettes themselves, they are made out of cardboard, but my god, these are sturdy, and they've got really strong magnets to keep them closed as well. They open up like a little kind of, I don't know, folder kind of little mirror there. It's, look, I mean, the mirror gives it a bit of a luxe feel, like it's quality, but I don't, for me personally, I prefer a bit of a bigger mirror. However, a palette of this type of design, it's not going to allow for it, so you know, I don't hold it against the palette. This one here is Sashimi City. It's the Futurism 7 palette. So these palettes retail for $24. They contain 6 eyeshadows. This one, and I believe both of them. Let me double check. Yes. So there's 4 mattes and 2 shimmers in each palette. I'm going to swatch these shades for you so you can see how they look. We'll start with Promenade, which is the first shade. That's a matte. Then we have Penthouse. This is a beautiful like duochrome shimmer. Then I wouldn't even call that a shimmer, it's like a metallic sparkly amazingness. Then we have Gourmet, which is a little bit softer in its pigmentation. That's the word I was looking for. Then we have Pink Ginger, which is a stylishly merry style duochrome, gold to pink, giving Stylishly Merry a run for its money. Then we have Salmon Skyline, which is an absolutely gorgeous orangey terracotta shade. And the last one is Soy Sauce, which I basically just swatched right on top of Salmon Skyline. This color story is so right up my alley, it's not even funny. This palette is almost perfect for me. However, something that I do need to point out is that Promenade and Soy Sauce are quite similar. In terms of their color depth, so like their darkness, I would say they're in the same family. Soy Sauce has more of like a pinkish reddish base, and Promenade has more of a yellow base. So that's the difference there, but they are very, very similar. So my first experience with these eyeshadows was when I swatched them to take photos for Instagram, and that's when I realized the mattes are like butter. They are so silky smooth and soft. I was quite surprised. I have felt a lot of smooth feeling eyeshadows in my time. However, it's actually been quite a while, so I was a little bit taken aback. I wasn't really expecting that. When it comes to applying them with a brush, the very first time I picked up an eyeshadow, I was a bit concerned because I noticed there was a lot of product on my brush, and also, you know, because they are so soft, your brush can agitate a lot of product in the pan. So I would tap off my brush before I applied it, and I was getting a super soft, subtle application, not a lot of like pigment payoff. So then I tried going in without tapping off my brush, and that's where the like intense pigment started to shine through. So the formula of the eyeshadows allows you to pretty much do whatever you want with it. If you want to go soft and subtle, pick up a little bit of product, tap off the excess, apply, blend, and then build it to your desired effect. If you want to go more intense, then you just pick it up on your brush and apply it. Don't tap it off. So that's really nice. Also, the formula of the mattes in the Sashimi City palette all blended really nicely. They blend together really nicely, which is very important. You don't want your eyeshadows to become muddy when you start blending them, and that doesn't happen with these bad boys. This amazing shimmery metallic duochrome goodness is like, it's magical. These are so beautiful. You can use them on their own. They apply like really well. Sometimes with like shimmery eyeshadows, they don't have enough of their own grip to actually stick to the eye, and that's when you hear people saying apply it with a silicone applicator, or more commonly apply it with your finger or apply it wet. Now, I don't mind, okay, I don't apply any eyeshadows with my fingers because I have little eyelids, and in comparison to my little eyelids, I have fat fingers. They're not actually fat, it's just put the two together, you get no precision, and I don't like applying my eyeshadow that way. It's clunky. So I would use like a silicone applicator, or I would just apply it wet with a brush if the eyeshadows don't have enough grip. These do. These have enough grip, and I love that. I think that is like the most important thing about these sort of metallic shimmery eyeshadows. If you have to fuss with them to apply them and get like their best out of them, for me it's not even worth it. I don't want to sit here for like an hour doing my eyeshadow trying to make it look good. There's so many eyeshadows on the market that already work well, that already look good with minimal effort. It's just pop them on, make sure everything's blended, and bam, gorgeous eye look. And that's what this is. That's exactly what this is. So I quite like this formula. I was surprised. I thought my sort of perception of Kaleidos before actually trying it, and this probably is based on the fact that what I've seen from them so far is quite bright and colourful palettes. I expected their pigmentation to be bright and bold and intense and very in your face, and that's pretty much what you get. But that's not the case with this palette, and it's not the case with the Lunar Lavender palette either. It is, you have a lot of control over it. If you want to apply it softly, you can apply it softly. If you want to build it up and go big and bold, you can totally do that. And I love that. I feel like all eyeshadows should do that. You should have the option. Next up is Futurism 6 Lunar Lavender. I think this is the one that everyone is going crazy for, and I don't blame you. It's pretty, and I'm actually really pleased to see purples making a comeback because it's a very flattering color on most people. So again, we've got 4 mattes and 2 of their magical shimmery formula. Shades are Nocturnal, which is a stunning cool toned mauvey brown. Then we have Moon Roof. That's magic, and that's what I'm wearing on the center of my eyelids today. Then we have Dreamscape. Then we have Midnight Flora. and we have Wisteria, and the last one is Crater Grove. I love this selection of shades. It's really simple, but it encompasses purples perfectly. My opinion of Lunar Lavender is very similar to that of Sashimi City in the way that the product performs, the feeling of the eyeshadows being like super smooth and silky and soft to the touch. Something that I will talk about just with an individual pan, it's this one here, which is Moon Roof. That is insanely soft. Don't just be going in there digging your finger in all rough. It is super, super soft. Be gentle with it, okay? It needs you to treat it like a precious little baby because it's soft and you will gouge that. So just be aware of it. I think like the way this applies and all that stuff, it's beautiful. Everything is good about it. Again, you can do the whole, you know, pick up some product and tap off your brush for a really like soft, dreamy, almost whimsical application and look with how the eyeshadow has applied, or you can just go straight from pan to brush to face and go bigger and bolder if that's what you want to do. So you've got that control again, just like Sashimi City. But I think the important thing to talk about here is actually purple eyeshadows, because purple eyeshadows are notoriously difficult to formulate, apparently. Many years ago, going back like 10 plus years, purple was actually my favorite eyeshadow color. It suits my coloring very well. It plays with my eye color very well, my hair color, all that jazz. So it was always like sort of my go-to color eyeshadow because it's just so easy to wear. And I never ever had an issue finding a nice formula purple eyeshadow. However, in more recent years, I find that the majority of purple eyeshadows that I try are not really that great. They can go on patchy. They can be really difficult to blend. If you try to blend them into or over another eyeshadow, or you take another eyeshadow and blend that over the purple, it's like they erase each other and you can't fix it. Like, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So I've actually really sort of strayed away from purples in the last few years because I feel like most brands just don't do them well. And I was concerned about that. I was concerned about that today when I applied this look. I was like, oh God, please just be good. Please be good, please. And it was good. It's applied beautifully. The colors have blended together really well. I did pop a little bit of the darker brown in the outer corner to just deepen up the darker purple in the palette a tiny bit to give like a little bit of extra dimension, and they actually blend together. They blend together. It's not just one sitting on the other and looking patchy or dusting away another eyeshadow. No, they blend together and they made a completely new color, which is exactly what you would expect. However, with purples, it doesn't always happen. More often than not, it doesn't happen. So I've had fun with this. I enjoyed it. It was actually a pleasure to use. I went in a bit anxious and I came out happy on the other side. Also, this Moonroof shade. Oh, baby, look at her. That is stunning. So it's got some sort of bluish tones in it as well, which play beautifully with purples. Gorgeous, absolutely stunning. This is probably the only way that I would ever wear bluish tones. Pair it with a purple. Gorgeous. Before I move on to the other products in this particular collection, I do want to do some quick comparison swatches to the Escape Pod palette. So let's do that very quickly. If we just, I feel like this is probably the best way to do it. If we hold them up, you can see there's quite a few shades in there that could be duped. Or not duped, but they could look or appear like they are dupes. Almost every shade in the palette, actually. So, without further ado, let's do it. Let's do the whole palette. So first up we have Nocturnal from Lunar Lavender. And then we have Bossa Nova from the Escape Pod. You can see they are very, very different, but they do look similar-ish in the pans. Then we have Moonroof from Lunar Lavender. And from Escape Pod, we have Space Oasis. And just for good measure, these don't look too similar, but just in case people are curious, this one is Cosmic Cabaret. So you can see there, they are definitely different. These two here, so we've got Moonroof and Space Oasis. Moonroof is more like, it's got more purples and bluey tones to it, whereas Space Oasis has more pinky lavender tones to it. So there's still purple in there, they're different. I'll also swatch Dreamscape because that one could be similar-ish to Space Oasis. Let's do this one. Oh, interesting. So Dreamscape, which is this one, makes Space Oasis look more bluey and purple. So Dreamscape is like a softer pink for sure. But again, they are different. From Lunar Lavender, this one is Midnight Flora. And from Escape Pod, this one is Mardi Gras. Then we have Wisteria from Lunar Lavender. And this one is Soiree from Escape Pod. So you can see, different. And for good measure, let's do Crater Grove. That is from Lunar Lavender. God, that shade is so soft. And this one is Terrace from, oh my God, from the Escape Pod. So again, you can see the differences there. So if you did buy the Escape Pod and you are vibing the Lunar Lavender, I can promise you that the shades are different. Next product are the Charisma Contour Palettes. So there are 3 in the range, and these retail for $18 each. So this is a new product line to Kaleidos's catalog. Kaleidos's? What's the plural for Kaleidos? I don't know. So essentially what we have is Warm and Deep, which is that one there. We have, which one are you? Cool and Light. And then we have Medium and Warm. So this one's medium and warm. This one's cool and light. Each palette has 3 pans and they're all matte. We have the fill, which is basically like a highlighter. Then we have the shade, which they say is like a nose contouring shade. However, I used it on my cheekbones and oh my God, it's like, look, we'll get to it. And then we have the chisel, and they say this is a cheek contour, but I used it as a bronzer. Let's do some swatches so we can compare them. I'm going to start with the Warm and Deep palette. So this is your fill shade, this is your shade, and this is your chisel shade. This is medium and warm, so this is the fill shade. We have the shade, and we have the chisel shade, which I've not swatched very well. Let's redo those ones. Last one is Light and Cool. So this is the fill shade, very light, which is good. We have the shade, which I will swatch again. This is, it like doesn't even really want to come up on my skin. I am too deep for this. And that is the chisel shade. So I will swatch that one again as well. This one, this one, I can barely get it to show up. And it's not because it's not pigmented, it's just because it's like, it's too light for me. It's too light. However, that might be great for some people because something I do hear often from people who have very fair skin is that it's difficult to find a contour or a bronzer that isn't too dark for them, essentially. Let's talk about the formula of these guys. So they do feel very soft and smooth in the palette, just like the eyeshadows that I was talking about before, which is really lovely. However, they're very firmly pressed. So when you dip a brush into this palette and you apply it to your face, you're not applying 20 kilos of product, which you then have to panic blend to soften. These powders apply really softly, so it gives you the control of just a little bit for normal day-to-day wear, or building it up to be much more intense if you are going for that chiseled look. Now, when I used this, I actually went in with the shade, which is designed to be a nose contour, and I actually used it on my cheekbones. And initially when I put it on, I was like, whoa, that looks really intense. But what I realized once I started sort of moving my face around and capturing the light underneath my cheekbones is that this enhances my natural cheekbone contour insanely. Like, it really makes it pop. So I am very lucky. I have cheekbones that sit a little high, and then I have, you know, a hollow between my cheekbones and my jaw, and it creates its own contour with shadows, essentially, which is lovely. I like that. However, when I'm sitting in front of a camera and I am flooded by my 60 million lights in this dim little room, I like to enhance that. And quite often I will just use a bronzer to do it, but it's not, a bronzer is not a contour, it's a bronzer, which is nice for making me look sun-kissed, but not for actually sculpting out a cheekbone. It's a perfect shade for sculpting out a cheekbone, which is really nice, and a little bit goes a long way for me. The chisel shade I used as a bronzer around my face, and again, it applies really softly. This isn't the type of product where you're going to dip your brush into the pan and apply it and freak out because you applied too much. It's going to apply softly, it's going to be diffused, it's going to blend easily, and if you want more, you can build it up. This is the type of palette that would comfortably fit in my everyday makeup drawer, or even something I would chuck in my travel bag. Super sturdy packaging. It is just cardboard, but it's sturdy. It's got a really strong magnet, so it's not gonna like pop open in your bag. And it's got what you need in there without being big or bulky. And I don't feel like there's anything in there of excess, you know, there's no wasted space, there's not like 4 shades of bronzer where I'm only going to reach for 1, maybe 2 maximum. It's what you need. Then there is the Lucid lip. This is in the shade Dramatize, and it retails for $16. They call this a candy coating of coral and strawberry red with golden and pink sparkles. So this does have a translucent tint, which is very pretty. You can see it on my lips there. It's sort of my lips, but a little bit more berry inspired, and definitely better because my lips are dry as hell. There is sparkle in there, but it is micro fine. It just adds to the glossy effect rather than being like, hey, you have glitter chunks on your lips, and that's gross. These are very, like, they're smooth, they're soft, they're not gritty, which is lovely, and they wear well. Also, actually hydrating, which is really nice. I want these in about 50 nude shades, please and thank you. If you're a lip gloss fan and you were planning on making an order from Kaleidos and you were thinking about throwing one of these in, but you're like, oh, are they sticky? Are they tacky? Is the glitter unrefined? No, and no. They're a really nice formula. Would recommend. Before I wrap this review up, there are a few other things in this collection which Kaleidos did send to me. Oh my god, I just put my sleeve in the makeup. No! hazards of the job. Okay, so there is a hair bow, which is so cute. So this is the Fresh Fantasy hair bow. It retails for $10. It's like a satiny feeling hair bow, really bright, and it has a generous hair tie here at the back. I am really bad at putting these in, but I'm gonna, how does this work? Let's fuss with this for 3 hours, because why not? Oh my god, am I actually gonna manage to do this? Because that would be a miracle. Okay, we're almost there. Oh my god, come on, hair. Right, now I need to turn it around. There we go. Oh, get out. That's actually really cute. That's so cute. Let's pull it down a little bit. Oh, stop it. Look at me. I'm a hairdresser now. Look out, Madeline. I'm gonna do my own hair from now on. No, I'm not. Don't worry. So that's really cute. There is also a suitcase in this collection. And the reason I mention this is because it's not just like a PR package item. You can buy the hair bow separately. $10, like I said. And if you were like, okay, I only want one eyeshadow palette and one contour thing and the lip thing, but I really want the hair bow and the suitcase, because a lot of people have been saying, I did an Instagram story of this and people were like, oh my god, the suitcase is adorable. It is, and fair. And if you want it, you can get it. You can get the hair bow and the suitcase together. It's $40. The whole collection sells for $119, which includes both palettes, the lip gloss, this guy, and all three of these palettes. So $119. So there you go. That is the whole collection, and it's a fun collection. I've got to say, I'm gonna drop that. I've got to say, I really enjoyed this collection. I love the palettes. The palettes are so bomb. They are so up my alley at the moment. I'm really not like, I don't dig color these days. I just don't really reach for it. But if there was ever going to be a color that I was going to reach for, it's going to be purple. Also red. Do an all red palette, please, Kaleidos. Like proper red. Proper red. Not like oranges pretending to be reds or pinks pretending to be reds. Proper reds. Or a red and purple palette. They go really well together as well. So yeah, having like a beautiful warm nude palette and a beautiful purple palette, I like this collection brought me joy. Very much so. And so does this hair bow. I love it. Last bit of information I can give you is that this collection is available now. Depending on when you're watching this, it's available for pre-order and it starts shipping on the 15th. And if you're watching this after the 15th, then it's available now and you can go and get it if you want it. I'm actually smitten with this bow. I'm digging this. I'm gonna wear this today. I'm gonna go inside. Mum's gonna be like, oh, that's so cute. Where'd you get that? I'm gonna be like, Kaleidos sent it to me in PR. You know what she'll say? Where's mine? She's so cute. Okay guys, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much, Kaleidos, for sending this to me. I really enjoyed playing with this collection and I'm looking forward to playing with the Escape Pod collection. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm actually thinking with that palette that I want to challenge myself to create a completely nude look with what is essentially a Brights palette. That's the person I am these days. Anyway guys, if you have anything to say, any comments, leave them down below and I will see you in the next one. Bye.